I got
Okay,
some
I'm
stuff.
sorry, I didn't know that. I'm
No,
sorry.
you all good. I like it like that. Now you just sat here and told me you're from Arkansas, right?
Yes,
Little Rock, Fort Smith.
Fort Smith, Arkansas.
How was it growing up in Arkansas? Because I'm an Oklahoma boy.
Wow, Arkansas was one of the best times of my life. Growing up, it was tough, but I grew up from house to house. I'm not gonna lie about that. And lived in the projects.
Yeah.
But I have my best friends. We all grew up in the projects. We all grew up together, and it made us. And if you see us now, we get together, once a year or sometimes twice a year, and I look at each other. We look at each other, and it's just amazing the accomplishment that everybody has made for each other. So I'm very, very impressed with that. I love that.
See how far each other's come. And what you said is actually special because very, very rarely do we get to have long time childhood friends that you still connect with years later. My dad said something to me whenever I was a young kid. He told me that his childhood, his experiences growing up was very similar to the way you just described yours. Didn't necessarily have a whole lot, but they had each other. Meaning he, his peers, his family. He said he didn't even know that they were poor until he finally went across town to see how a different demographic was living.
Right.
Were you aware of y'all's circumstances then, or was it just commonplace at that time?
Myself and my friends, I don't think we ever thought that. We had a place to eat. We had clothes on our backs. We had shoes. We had each other. And like you just said, and like your dad said, it was all about us. And I'll be honest with you, the first time that I went somewhere to eat, our coach took us to eat steaks.
Hey, okay.
Okay, and this was in high school. And you know what I thought the steak was? I thought the steak was pork chops.
Yeah, boy.
So I'm getting ready to pick it up.
That's right.
And then a friend of mine, Ed Fransky, he said, hey, Walt, put that down. And I put it down because I never had a steak before like that because I was, we were young. So, it was always the pork chops and things like that. And I try to tell kids nowadays, don't take for granted what life is bringing you. You thinking that everything is free.
Right.
No, don't think things is free because life is tough. And if you don't know how to do things or how to maneuver, and I take my kids to tournaments, and the reason I take them to tournaments, I take them to go eat. And we don't go to McDonald's. I stopped that years ago. I take them somewhere they can sit down and have a good meal and know the utensils and know how to eat. Because I think that's very important in nowadays with these kids. Because I don't think kids really understand the value of what they're missing out on. And when they go somewhere, I want them to always know how to use a fork, how to use a knife. It's more important to life than just playing basketball. Basketball is just temporary. Kids don't understand that. They think it's going to always be there, but no, it's not.
At some point, that ball's going to stop bouncing.
It's going to stop bouncing, and when it stops bouncing, I want you to know that you can fall on other things. And I teach, and I want to teach you about life. I don't teach you just about basketball when I'm teaching. I want to teach you about life, how things really supposed to revolve around what I'm teaching you. And what I'm teaching you is like the eating, like the utensils, like sitting down correctly. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. You got to get that to these kids nowadays, but these kids really do not understand that. They thinking that it's all about them. They think they're invincible, and they're not.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain to these kids nowadays because you have the computers, you have that, and they don't get outside anymore. What they do now is they stay in the house and they learn from the computers, and that's taken away from what they're supposed to learn from, and going out there learning on their own. They can't learn on their own if the computer's teaching them what to do.
Right. I know there's a balance between the two. I try to ease up on my criticism of kids today, because whenever I was coming up, even though I'm just a few blocks ahead of them, the things that are accessible to them now weren't accessible to me back then. So, or if they weren't not to the same level as they are now. And I'm pretty sure I might have been a little different if I had all these things at my fingertips as they have now. But what I'm gearing up to ask you is, you're a man who's been in the game for a long time. How have you been able to sort of keep yourself relevant in terms of being able to effectively communicate with these kids today versus the kids of yesteryears? You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you, it's hard. It's really hard, and I think my assistant coaches, I got my assistant coaches to do that because I know I'm an old school style coach,
Right.
and I know my players go and tell AAU coaches or tell coaches old style, but they don't understand the new style is still my style.
There you go.
You know, that new style, they taught from we learned it. I mean, we know it. It's different names. There's different ways of doing it, but I'm just one of those guys that I get my assistant coaches, and one is Marcus Hines, who used to play here and was really a good athlete, very good athlete, good player.
Is that Ramon Hines' brother?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. And then I have my son Walt Jr. And they old school and they play college ball, and so I let them explain. But these kids today still do not understand the knowledge and the terminology of what we try to explain to them. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm old school or young school. You know, these guys, if you're not going out there and representing yourself like you're supposed to on the court, it doesn't matter who is teaching. You know, it's all that, because if a coach is not teaching you the right way, because coaches nowadays, they're trying to make a name for themselves instead of making a name for the kids. Because it's about the kids, it's not about us.
Man, that's a heck of a statement right there. I can remember the era that I was playing in high school from 03 to 07, and the type of student athlete that existed during that time, especially in the inner city setting. And you kind of had to have some of those guys that are on the bubble in terms of their behavior.
Yes.
You needed those dogs when it was time to compete.
Always.
And you always had a bunch of those dogs, man, especially during y'all's heyday. How were you able to manage all of those big time egos, but still keep them, you know, one track minded enough to go and get the job done?
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. They can tell you, you know, more well than I can. I'm really tough. I'm really a disciplinarian. I'm very upset. When you do something wrong, you know, I'm like you said, I'm old school. So when you do something wrong, we're on the line. But see, they don't understand. It's not for punishment. It's for getting you. It's disciplining you not to make that mistake, not to, you know, get mad because you don't get the ball. You know, don't get upset because you wide open and somebody missed you. You know, people can't see everything. We're not perfect. You know, basketball players think they're perfect now. They thinking that, you know, hey, I'm supposed to average 24 points. I'm supposed to get 15 rebounds. I'm supposed to get 10 assists. No, you're reading the NBA. You're reading the NBA. You can't read NBA. You read what you have. And what you have is the players that you have here, what you work with. And those players that you work with, you make them better. And you don't make yourself better, because once you make yourself better, that means that you're going to stop working as hard as you're supposed to work. So you give everybody an opportunity to get better, because your time is going to shine, and people don't do that. And my kids, they would tell you, I was just tough on them. I mean, I really was, because I knew where I came from. And so the way that I was coaching was how someone taught me how to be, and I love it. It was something that I loved, and it took me a while, because when I first started, it wasn't like that. I lost. I mean, my first season, I didn't win a regular season game.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't win one regular season game. Yeah, I played. Everybody else was playing like Classen open up, Southeast open up, reopened in '94. That was my first head coach job. And so I thought we was going to be playing a JV schedule just like our football team was playing.
Right.
But no.
So just sort of put your feet in the water first.
They did not do that. They threw us right in the fire. I mean, they just threw us there. And so we was getting beat by 30 and 40. And young, and these guys was young. And so I didn't know they could be able to handle it. But they believed in my system. They stayed with me. They didn't leave, they stayed with me. So that's when I knew that we will make something happen. And we started making it happen. And I was really impressed and very proud of how they stayed.
I always was told by one of my coaches that, you know, the true measurement of how good a coach is not necessarily by wins and losses, not necessarily by accolades and the amount of championships you got, not even about how many kids you sent to the collegiate level to play, but something as simple as what type of relationship you maintain with your players after they're not in your program anymore, where they can't do anything for you anymore, do you all still communicate? And I would ask you that. Are you in contact with many of your players from the past? Do they come back around?
I'm in contact with most of my players. They will call me. I have an assistant coach, matter of fact, who just called me just a minute ago. His name is Coach Cisco, and he's a former coach of mine, and he keeps up with everyone, and I'm one of those guys that everybody knows that I'm a off person. I'm always staying to myself. I'm not out there. I'm not doing. I'm just to myself most of the time.
Yeah.
And so they would talk to him more than me. But the thing is like if they never need anything and they do need me, like when I was sick, they would call and they would touch bases with me, and or they would ask him, and they would get on, like I said, the internet and all that is something that I'm really not into, but the technology side. But my players I always call them my son. No matter what, I see them to this day. Like in December, like when they off, and they know that we have practice in December, and they know Christmas time, they all come to the gym, and they have a good time. I just sit back and I let them show the players this is what they're supposed to be about.
Let it happen. So these are guys that participated in making the fabric of your program, the culture. And about you being off the grid and to yourself, I can remember when I was trying to track you down for this podcast. Of course, I went to my good buddy Jamel Young. I said, "Hey man, you have Coach Brewer's number?" He said, "I got it, but he don't really like everybody having his number, man." He said, "So I can't give it to you." He said, "I'll tell you what, call up to Southeast High School. If you can't get him, then I'll give you his number." But you were so gracious enough to hit me back. But that's a beautiful thing, man. Now, about your illness, since you took me there, what exactly had you ailing? Because I didn't know much about the details, and you feel free to go as far.
This is breast cancer month, but my thing was colon cancer, and I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody you would never think. As an athlete, you don't even think about stuff like that. No, because when you're hurting, as an athlete, you're hurting. Oh, it's gonna go away. It'll go away soon. But this one didn't go away.
Right.
It didn't go away. It hit me, and one day I was in my house and at home, and it just all of a sudden just happened. It came out. I was at school, and I went to the front office, and I told myself, "Hey, I gotta leave." I've never have done that before.
That's when I knew. Strike me as the guy that misses work.
So I knew I was hurting because I'd never, and I just got, I went home and went to sleep for a minute, and the next day. My son Will, he was going back to school, and I couldn't take him, and so and my wife took him back, and so the thing was, I got up and I fell, and I was like, whoa,
this doesn't happen.
Yeah, and didn't know what it was, and then my other son came to the house, and he saw me, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I told him exactly what was going on. And so he called my wife, and she heard me, got back, and she took me to the hospital. And when I got there, they said, "Well, hey, we got to have emergency surgery right now. Right now. If not, he might not stay around. He might not gonna be here." Man. And so my thing was, I didn't know what, and they said, "Cause it's a cancer," and good thing about it, it was round. It wasn't, it was one of those things that. It wasn't spreading. It was all. So they said he need to have it. If not, he's not gonna live. And so my most important thing to me, I said, "Hey, I need to do this." And I just said, "Hey, I can't leave yet. I don't have no grandkids.
Right.
I haven't. It's more to life that I need to do that I haven't done. So, it was something that I tell everybody. I won't tell everyone. People at my school right now. Had passed away from cancer, and they talked to me about it, and the most important thing about it is that cancer, as I talk in basketball terminology, is an opponent, and that opponent, he's the one who's an opponent that he don't go away, he fights,
right?
He don't want you to win, and and even when you think you win, he's like us. The coach, he's gonna come back.
Down but never out.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back and get you. He's gonna say, "Well, you got away from me one time, but I'm not gonna let you get away from me twice." So you never think that he's gone. You always know that he's there, but you gotta have a defense for him, and it's hard. And that defense which is, you know, and everybody has it, and which is God, which is Jesus. You know, that's, and I want to talk. I know I need to talk about that, but
You're a faith-based guy, baby.
hey, if you're gonna have somebody, an opponent, and like that cancer, you gotta believe that you can beat that person, and that cancer, like I said, it's no joke. It's a guy that coming at you, and he gonna keep coming at you until he gets you. I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, I hate to say that, and
That's the truth.
I'm just glad God has given me an opportunity to tell other people and let people know that, you know, you always take care of yourself, because you think we're perfect, but we're not.
What year was that, Coach?
Oh my God, it's been about 5 years now, 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
So I've been blessed, and I've been very thankful and very humble with everything, because you know, I joke and I have fun now. You know, when we played against you, you know, I was serious.
Yeah, man, you serious,
know,
man.
I was serious. You didn't see a smile on my
No,
face.
had the suit tied with the towel over the shoulder. Yes, sir.
But now it's more so of just having fun, just enjoying life,
Right.
and enjoying the kids more now. But you know, with the kids now, they take that for a sign of weakness, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of, I'm trying to get you to understand. If you really don't want to see the Brew Crew,
Right.
you just want to see. You better enjoy what you see right now,
Right.
Because you would be on this. You would never could make my team if you see the Brew Crew.
Yeah.
And I think my former players would definitely tell you that.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, not only did you make a recovery to get yourself back in good health, but you got back on the sidelines.
Yeah.
What was that decision-making process like? Were you thinking after you got done with surgery, were you thinking, I just got to get back on my feet? Or were you thinking, I got to get back into my domain? I don't want to just get back healthy. I want to get back to what I used to do.
I'll be honest with you on that situation. I wanted to get back. I did, because I thought that's what I needed. But I got a letter from a player, Deshaun McDowell. He wrote me a letter, and I was in the hospital. He wrote me a letter, and because nobody knew what was wrong with me, because I told him I was a private person, so nobody knew what was wrong with me. So
Kept it close to the vest.
Yeah. So he wrote me a letter, and that letter stated some things that was very just between me and him that I really got to my heart. And so, you know, like anything, you ask God and you pray. And I asked God, I say, I need to get back. People are missing me. I need to get back. I don't need to be standing around here. You know, you told me, you know, you got me out of this bed, my deathbed. So let me go and finish some jobs that I need to be finishing. And so I came back. And the only thing I'm mad about, they let me come back. They didn't tell me I was real small, but that's okay though.
You gotta look back at them old photos.
I had to look back, but I came back, and he was one of the guys, because he came to Southeast because of me. And so and when he wrote that letter, I said, hey, I need to get back, and I got back, and I didn't. Really wasn't myself. I started being myself probably about 2 years ago.
Really?
I said about 2 years ago, I started really being back to Brewer.
You know what? I saw something. I saw some clips, of some live action from you coaching, and the very first thing I saw that was different from what I remember, you know, playing against your teams, is that you were sitting down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now, and usually, and maybe this is just some ignorance on my part, but when I look outside of your situation, when I look at games, I'm always watching coaches. I'm watching their interaction with the guys. I'm watching their vernacular, their demeanor, and all of that. And if it's a coach I've grown familiar with, as they progress and they've been in the game a little longer, usually that'll be an indication of, oh man, he done mailed it in. He just over there, you know, he just getting that check now, man. Where's the fire?
Right.
But I saw those clips, and I was like, okay, why are they showing this? And as I listened, that's when they got into, you know, what you have battled. And I'm like, okay, so there's an adjustment he made. You know, he's scaling it back a little bit, still being vocal, but he's taking the load off physically. Right. Are you back to being up and moving now?
I can move.
That's what I'm talking
about. I can move. You know, when you have chemo, as the doctor say, when you have chemo, you know, your hands, your feet, it takes a toll on you. I mean, you know, you're still not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same feeling. You know, like when I do the chemo, you know, when you eat, it hurts, you know, because it's the nerves and all that. But your hands, your fingers, your foot, your toes. It takes a toll on you because it's not the same. You know, you feel pressure. There's a lot of pressure on your feet and on your hands. And so, you know, like I could get out here and I can't shoot. And, you know, and that disappoints me. But, you know, I tell myself, you know, I'm going to make one sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to make one sooner or later. But I know how to adjust. I played this game for a long time. So
That's the
I
competitive in you.
But you know, I know that I don't feel the same like I used to, because you can't, like, sometimes you got to really grab on to stuff. You can't just like we take it for granted, like a little spoon, just pick up a spoon. Sometimes I have to hold it tight,
Right.
you know, but a lot of people don't hold it tight. It just, you know, because
I'm
of
guilty
your
of that.
nerves and all that. Yes, and so people take in your feet, you know, it's the same way. You know, when you walk, you know, my balance is not the same like it used to be because of the chemo, and that's another thing that is no joke. Chemo, oh my God, I wouldn't put that against my worst enemy, and I don't. I mean, hopefully I won't have that many enemies, but
Right.
I mean, I would never put that,
Right.
because those that chemo is something that I wouldn't want anyone to take or have, you know. But I know it will help you. It's going to help you, but that is something that is
That's a battle right
it's,
there.
it's a big battle, very big battle.
And speaking of battles, because you touched on it, I'm gonna take us back into the gym. I didn't get a chance to ask you a couple of segments ago. What
Okay.
type of player were you in your day?
I was a 1 and a 2 guard. I love defense.
Okay.
I love playing defense. I love, and when I learned how to dunk, I loved stealing the ball so I can go get one.
Yeah,
you know,
get that
so,
breakaway.
Yeah, so I was more of a 1-2. I could shoot the thing. I'm left-handed, and I can shoot that thing. And I mean, I could. I have to admit, I was really, I could shoot it. And I can find a way to score no matter what, no matter who you are. Because I like to move without the ball. You know, I don't have to have the ball in my hand.
It's a lost art today.
And that's what I try to tell these kids. You don't have to have the ball in your hand to be successful, but they think they have to have the ball in their hands. But I love moving without the ball. And when he moved me to the 2 and he told me I could shoot it, oh my God.
Was that a more natural position for you than the 1?
Yeah, the 1. Yeah, I mean, the 1 was good. The 1 I couldn't really shoot the ball,
Right.
you know, because you got to dish it out to
set the
everybody.
table,
Yeah. You got to make the game go. But when you're a 2, you know, you get in a little bit more action. I mean, the 1, he's the captain. He's the one that's, you know, throwing that dime, you know, and making that happen, you know, making the team run real good, you know.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to play the 1 because it's a leadership role. And a lot of people don't want to be a leader. A lot of people don't want to be a leader. A lot of people want to, you know, try to, you know, want to be in the paper all the time. And I'm saying the paper, hey, it's not like back in the day. Back in the day, you were in the paper. Right now, all it is the score, box score. That's it.
That's it. I remember that nostalgia.
Yeah.
We get that paper.
Yeah.
There I am, right there in the box score.
That's it. Yeah. So I tell them, hey, if you can move without that basketball, oh man, and you don't know how many points you can get off. They don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming off a pick, knowing how to come off a pick, and knowing how to have your hands ready to shoot the ball. And then you get a good point guard to know how to pass their ball and to have a leadership and not want to be the selfish person, you know. And so I learned that. You know, I had some really good coaches that really motivated me to be who I was. And you know, that's even from elementary school. Mr. Hendricks, from junior high. I had Coach Fred Davis. High school, I had Coach Davis moved up to high school, and he was a very defensive coach. And then I went to college, and I had Coach Condart, who was at West Stark. I was at junior college, and
that's what UA Fort Smith is
yeah,
today,
it is
right?
now, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't made a Hall of Fame in there, but my brother and some more people, Darrell Walker, and guys that was before me, you know, that I played against or played with, you know, to help me be, you know, who I am now. They helped me, motivate me to be, you know, great. And Coach Wyatt and Coach Wyatt, right now, I still talk to him today. Coach Condart, he passed away, but Coach Wyatt, I still talk. All my coaches I talked to, Coach Hayes, Ken Hayes, he was at Northeastern State that I was there, and Ron Cox, and those guys helped motivate me to be who I am. And Albert Haynes, he was a counselor, but he was a assistant coach at Muskogee, and he came to be a counselor at Northeast, and he happened to be one of my fraternity brothers, and me and him, we clicked, and he just done a lot of things for me to be successful in life, and I really appreciate that. And he has passed away and gone too, but I'm just, as I said, I'm so thankful that God gave me another chance to be who I am. So
yeah, that's right. And it sounds like you had a heck of a tree that you came from in terms of people to pull some influence from.
I did, and I better mention my brother, because if I don't mention my brother, he might slap me in the back of the head. But
I'm guessing he's older than you.
Yeah, he's definitely older than me, but he taught me everything. He's the one who really taught me how to play the game of basketball. My mother, she's gone away, but our mom, I was always in the house. I'm a loner again, always in the house, and my mom, get him out of the house. You got to take him with you. So my brother would never want to take me with him because he was young. I was younger, so he was like, dang,
cramping his style.
Oh my God! But he said, if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna learn, and I did. I learned a lot from him. Him and my grandfather was probably my role models in my life. They taught me a lot, and male role models. My mother was probably my most one, because our father wasn't around, but my mother, she was the father and the mother, and she was more like, she was everything.
She was everything.
She was everything. That was my heart.
She handled y'all. Huh?
Yeah, she did. All six of them. Yeah, all five of them. She handled all of us. Believe me.
Now, where did you fall in the five?
I was number 4.
Number 4, almost the baby.
Yeah, don't say that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up with 4 other siblings, man? Was a lot of love? Was a bunch of this?
It was always love. It was always love. Our sister. To me, I don't really know how to cook now, because Mom, you can't go in the kitchen. You can make your bed, take the trash, mow the lawn, but she hardly never let us go in the kitchen. And she had to be away before we sneak in there in the kitchen. And my brother Ron, he loves pancakes.
Straight up.
So he go make pancakes. I mean,
any time of day, huh?
They look like cornbread, but he'll make them pancakes.
About how they look, about how they taste, right?
Yeah, but he made he still do it to this day. He got grandkids, and he still to this day make pancakes for his grandkids. So I be laughing. I said, they like those cornbread muffins and stuff, y'all remember?
He probably just laughed. And I bet the kids look like, man, I don't know what he's talking about. Little insider right there. That's beautiful, man. Now let's talk about your collegiate career, okay? When I was West Ark or junior college at that time, right?
I was there for a year.
For a year.
For a year, and then I went to Northeastern State, and I played at Northeastern State, and that's what I was telling you about Coach Ron Cox. He a good friend of mine that was playing football at that time, Ken Mumphrey.
Right.
He told him about me, and then Coach told me to come, and I came up there on the Christmas for a visit, and
for a visit on Christmas.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that's a little unconventional.
Yeah,
okay.
It was a visit. Yeah, it was before Christmas. I should say before. It was Christmas holiday, because the football team just had a game, and I remember that when I was watching the game, and that's when he told me that he would like for me to come up there, and I said okay, and I didn't want to go at first, and I like being around Arkansas for something like that. Then but once I did it, it was closer. It was closer than what I thought, and it was good because it gave me a chance to be away from home and grow up on my own, and I did, and it was a blessing. It really was. Everything that I have gone through has been something that I should have gone through.
That's what we're talking about.
I should have gone through everything that I've gone through.
That's great perspective right there, Coach.
Yeah.
Did you always know that you wanted to become a coach and get into education, or was that something that just kind of came a little later in the process?
It came later, because I always, like any athlete, especially a basketball player, you always want to try to make it. You always want to try to make it there. And I had opportunities. I played a little semi-pro, or I say pro-am league in Dallas, and had a little fun. Had some fun there, and met some good people. Met some NBA players. Like my brother was in the NBA, and so for him being in the NBA and me being in Dallas, and some of those guys that was playing for the Mavericks, I would go and kick it with them, and they would, say, hey, you need to come and try with us. So, that jump shot is pretty good. Right. But, like I said, it's, you try so much, and, when you keep trying and you're always the last person cut, stuff like that, you're like, I think I need to need to move on.
I think I need to move on.
Yeah, I think I need to move on. And didn't want to go into coaching. I really didn't. I didn't think I was going to be into coaching. I didn't know what I thought I was going to be into. You know, it just happened. It just happened one day. I moved here after 3 years and 4 years in Dallas. I moved here, and Coach Willie Kelly from Douglas needed an assistant coach, a ninth grade coach, and he called me and asked me, do I want to be a coach? And he checked on me and all that, checked my backgrounds, and he hired me. And that's probably one of the best moves that it was a great move for me, you know, to get in that, because I never knew anything about Oklahoma City or Oklahoma basketball. And he taught me a lot, but it was me and a good friend of mine, which I call T-Long, Coach Terry Long. And he's me and him still friends to this day. We talk to each other every once in a while, but he taught me how the system is here in Oklahoma, and he helped me to improve and to be who I am, and as a coach. And Coach Kelly helped me to be the disciplinarian as I am, because he was really tough. He was tough, man. You know, we had some great players when I was there. We had Junior Spivey, Alonzo Mays, Chris Lofton. We had some we had some great ball players that we just had some guys that, you know, we should have won it then. We should have won some games. We should have won the championship there also.
This is at Douglas, right?
Yeah, at Douglas.
Now,
yeah.
what class were they at that time?
At that time, they was 5A.
5A.
We was going against Booker T. We was going against all the top-notch teams. It was big time. The gym was packed every night.
Every night.
I loved it. I loved it, you know. And so it was something that I loved, that like I said, I have gone through. And then this school reopened in '94, and I just wanted a change, because I was at Douglas for 3 years, and I just said to myself, you know, let's take a change for a minute. Let's see what you can do, get away for a while. And I came here, and I wasn't really the first head coach here. You know, it was another guy.
But that was my next question. I'm like, did you just want an environmental change, or did you want to elevate in your ranks? So to speak?
I just, you know, how you just want to see how things are a different way, different route. So I just wanted to see that, and it was a gentleman here that came from the middle school with the principal, and he was supposed to be the head coach, but he wanted to work on his master's, so he went to Creighton in Omaha, Nebraska. And so she asked me, and she said, would you want to be the head coach? She said, can I move you up to the head coach? So, you know, I'm like, you know, I couldn't say no, because I said yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And so that's when I said, I said, I got myself in the wrong position, because we didn't win a game. And then when we did win a game, you know, it was right at the right time, you know. And
during that season, or was it the following season?
No, the first season. Because when the school opened, no one came here. It was like mostly ninth graders, and you might have one or two kids that came that was really good. That came with, you know, here, but it was mostly ninth graders. So I had a team that they're on my wall right now, because I still remember, you know, every time I, you know, feel that I'm up here, I look at that team and I remember where we were.
Where you came from.
Yeah, and you know, they helped me build this, you know, because it's not about me, it was about them. Every one of my players made me who I am.
Right.
It wasn't me. I just had a system, and they learned my system and played my system. They made me who I am.
So you telling me, Coach, you've been here at Southeast from 1994.
Yes.
All the way to 2019.
I've been blessed.
That's 25 years. Yeah, you have been blessed. And you know, I'm fascinated by that, because nowadays, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying that I believe that it's a real thing. Very rarely do you see long tenured coaches in any sport, in any district. You know, maybe 3 to 5 years and then moving on to the next opportunity. But to be a part of the foundation and build the culture from the ground up, gotta salute, man. It's gotta feel good. But now I gotta ask you, from a coaching standpoint, what was the biggest challenge for you coming into it for the first time? Because I know me, to give you an example of what I mean, when I first started coaching, I was 22 years old, right? And the only lens I had was my own. Myself as a player, and what I was able to do was the measuring stick. So I would look at a player struggling with something that I thought was very easy.
Yes.
Because it was easy for me.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out, okay, why can't you do this? And
Yeah.
so I had to check myself and figure out, okay, I got to meet this kid where he is or where she is,
Right.
because it was girls at the time. Was it rough for you to start coaching early, or was it a quick picker up?
I'll be honest with you, it was a quick picker up because the young kids that I had, and as I mentioned, Patrick Coase, and I had Chaz Parrish and Carlos Dixon, and they were real young, and they were freshmen. So they was hungry. That's what I love about kids back then. When you're hungry, you're gonna do what a coach asks you to do. You're gonna learn, because there's some things that you thought you knew you don't know.
Right.
I remember James Coates, who helped me win my first state championship. I remember him telling some guys that came after him that from the school, and he said, "No, Coach Brewer, no, you can't do that. No, basketball ain't like that. Coach Brewer's different. Coach Brewer, no, you can't. No, you ain't gonna do that with him."
Right.
And so those guys, Patrick, Chaz, those guys I first had, they made it easier for me. And the reason I say they made it easier for me, because they knew what I wanted. So the people who came to my school who wanted to play basketball, they put them in check. I didn't have to. They put me in check because they knew that if something happened or something was going on, they knew what I was going to do. So they made it known before even them players even came. So
they set the standard.
Yeah,
you did.
And they kept it going. They kept it going. They kept it going, and everybody had. Every year, somebody made sure that this is Brew Crew. This is Southeast. This is the way it's going to be, and everybody knew that. And nowadays, kids don't know that because they is not familiar with basketball no more. Basketball is really gone. They act like they like the game.
That's the key word.
Right.
You didn't say love, you said like.
And I'm not gonna say, I can't say love, because love is you come in the summer. Love is you come in the summer. Love is not just going to AAU and play. Love is coming work on your individual game. And my kids from the past, they came in the summer and played, and they got go balls, or you got silver balls, or they went to state, all these years in a row, because they came in the summer.
It meant that much to them.
Right, not just three, not just one or two or three. It was like 15, coming in the gym, and working in the summer. They wanted to achieve, and they did. They made Southeast. They put Southeast back on the map, and I'm very thankful for that, because, like I said, I'm not from here, so I didn't know. I learned about the tradition here. I did learn about it, and it's a lot here in the Southeast. You have some, and then not just basketball. It was football. It was baseball. It was, you had Daryl Porter, Mickey Childs. You had all these famous baseball players that played in the major leagues, and some played in the NFL. And you still got what's the name right now? I don't want to say his nickname, but you have him right now. We call him GK McCoy, and he's from here. And so
I remember Jim McCoy, and he's still in the league right now.
Yeah, he's still in the league, and
with the Panthers, I believe.
Right, and we have some athletes, but see, nowadays these kids don't understand. They worked for it. Hard work gets you success.
That's a fact.
And I tell them, it's not just about sports all the time, but it's about life. Life. Sports is helping you with life if you really is into it. But you got to work hard to achieve. If you're going to work hard to be better than what you ever have been in your life. Don't work just for the average.
Right.
Work for yourself. Work to be the best. Don't work just to say, hey, I'm just working just to be working. Work for a goal.
Have a purpose.
Always.
Yeah.
And when you have that, life is going to take you a long way.
I talk to my student athletes these days about that very thing, being intentional. You know, don't do anything randomly. You know what I mean? Have a purpose, have a reason. And once you get that established, now every move that you make serves a purpose. You know what I mean? And I think the toughest thing is to get them to compete against themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because for instance, let's say if you got a big time talent in the gym who's head and shoulders above everybody else, that kid's got to find something to motivate him every day. And it can't be to be better than the next guy. He's already better than him. So who we competing with now? So here's what I want to ask you. Once you got to Southeast, right, after that terrible first year, how long did it take for you guys to pick up some steam as a program and become a winning program?
I say my third year.
Okay.
The third year, I always give myself, I'm a goal person. I give myself a goal.
Right.
And so when I saw that we won district my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, we won district. We was 4A, we won district. I knew then that I had some special kids.
Okay.
I knew then I had some special kids. My thing was to bring or get some more kids to get to my program.
Right.
And I had a camp during the summer. I always had camps during the summer. And I make these kids come in the summer just on their own, you know. And those kids came. I mean, they came, they worked. And my third year, we started. Be honest with you, my fourth year, I thought we should have won it. I thought we should have won it. And one of my players broke his hand because he was upset about something, which I don't know. He hit that wall back there.
Oh my God.
He hit it and he broke his hand. And we needed him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we needed him. He was probably a 15-pointer. He was a 15-point guy. And rebound, hustle, and all that. And we lost that one. If I wouldn't have lost that, I think we probably would have won my first one in my fourth year. If not, we would have been close to it.
Right. And were you guys still 4A at that time?
Yeah, we were 5A.
You bumped up to 5A,
Yeah,
by that time.
Yeah, we stepped up. Yeah, we was ready. I mean, my guys was ready. They done took their battle. They done took their hits. They done took those licks. They like, hey, we done. It's time for us to step up. And I think they went 18-8 that year. And we should have won that. I mean, we should have been there. And even like you said, once you get there, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So my God. We hear that statement all the time, but it's always true because you've been around the game a lot. You've seen a lot. You've watched a lot of teams that had enough to get it done, just didn't for whatever reason. Maybe a bad matchup, some luck or whatever. So now we got to talk about the heyday of yours. You know what I mean? I'm talking about from 2000 and the 2002-03 team, which got to the state semis, right? And then your 03-04 group that won the state championship with one loss. And then your 04-05 championship team, the repeat champs, won it undefeated. Then you got back to the finals in 05-06.
Right.
What was that run like, man?
I'll be honest with you. We started with a kid named. Well, I had a lot of good kids. I had some good players. But like I said, when that team, Patrick Coach now and Chaz Parrish and all those guys, when we didn't make it, that year they graduated in 2000. Terry Holly. A lot of people on the wheels, but he was a football player. He played for University of Rice. As a matter of fact, he was a football player. Okay. But he on the court, he was a monster. Oh my God! But we made it that first year, 2000, and we had a great run. Oh my God! From 2000 until I say one team dropped the ball, and which was a team that was probably the most talented team. But like you said earlier, it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't come together, if you're going to be selfish, if you're not going to play like you're supposed to play, like the game is supposed to play, we lost in the first round.
First round of the state tournament or the regional?
First round and was it regional? Yeah, regional. First round of regional. And we haven't lost
that's a long spring.
Like I said, that made me so upset because that team right there was more talented than probably any team that I had before them, and I had some great players. I had D1. I call him D1, but it's DeMarion Johnson and then Terry Holly, and then you had Marcus Hines, and you had these guys, Taylor Lay. Taylor Lay went to D1 schools, but the teams that I had that lost in the first round, they were way better than them. talent wise,
Right.
but for some reason they didn't click. They didn't gel. I don't know if they were selfish. I don't know how. I really can't understand that. But I missed that 1 year, and then I kept going after that 1 year. And then that's when the next year, a team that nobody thought I was going to do, we went undefeated. We went undefeated after that team left. We just went undefeated because I didn't want them to play with that guy, that team. Because I get tainted. Right, I wanted them to be understanding what the game was about and how the game was really supposed to be played. So we went undefeated, lost to John Marshall. Matter of fact, in the semifinals of state.
And that was
lost to Adam Liberty and Jr.
Those some names
and
right
we
there.
beat them here.
In the regular season.
Yeah, we beat them here and should have beat them then, but like I said, the venue was different. It was at OU and the lights, and I think we shot almost 30, 35 threes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Y'all were a little early on that because that's what's done today.
Yeah, that's what. And we shot about that, and we still only lost by 3 points.
Man.
Yeah, little James Coates came out and started rocking it for us. And, he started playing really good for us. And then the next year, we won it.
That was 2003-04, right?
Yeah, we won it with his James Coates senior year, and that was a very special year. And then everybody was saying, "Oh, y'all won by luck." With luck. To me, I don't like hearing that, but the players took offense to that. So that next year, it was like that Chicago team. They were just going through the motion, like just get us back to state. We almost lost to Star Spencer, and a guy that came off the bench because they fouled out probably 4 of my guys, and it was here at home, and they fouled out 4 of my guys, and we were down. And a guy named Carl Carey came off.
I remember Curry.
Came off and got a rebound, and my son passed him the ball, and the guy missed it, and then Carl put it back in, and he got in one, and we won it by I think 1 point or 2 points or something like that. So, but but that team just wanted to keep going. Those players just didn't know how to lose. I don't know how to say it. They just didn't know how to lose. Even in practice, they competed. It wasn't no, "Oh yeah, you better than me." No, they
no
went
conceding.
out there. No. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how good you are. You show me how good you are. They went at each other. They went at each other, and it was so much fun just practicing. With those guys. Game was fun. Game was like. The practice.
Vacation.
I'll be honest with you. Practice was more harder and more easier. They just wanted to go play the game because they got tired of practicing.
They got tired of beating up on each other.
Yeah, that's all they did. They just wanted to play, and they did really. From the top player who's supposed to be the top player, from whoever the bottom player was, and I'd never had no top players. I let the media do that. But my thing was, I'm showcasing. It's up to you guys to get scholarships. My thing is I'm gonna showcase.
Put it on display.
Yeah, and then that's the way I do. That's the way I roll. Like parents nowadays, they always think about. They get mad at the coach. Why the coach didn't get my son a scholarship? We can't get you a scholarship.
It's not the way that works.
Yeah, I wish I could, but it's not. I showcase your son. Yeah, I can do that, but I cannot give him a scholarship. That's on him. That's what he does, and what a college coach needs. And they don't understand that. But like I said, I try to explain things to them. But go back to your question. I know I went around the curve, but
it's all good. You give me a lot.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm learning.
But that year, those years that we went to state and all that, you take them for granted. I'm not gonna lie, you take them for granted. And like you said, I haven't gone back in a while. I haven't gone back since I think a couple of years ago or 3 years ago. And it's one of those things that you think about. Whereas, what am I missing? But what you're missing is athletes and kids that really want to participate and want to compete and want to have that success.
Right.
When you just have kids who just want to just come in the gym,
it's just a hobby.
That's it, and some kids come in and never played, and then
it's a little late for that.
Yeah, and then you have to you have to teach them, the basics. See, that's when you know that, you might be in trouble for a while.
Might be in trouble. So when you're not coaching, you're having to do all teaching.
Right. and so I did take going to state for granted because I had athletes that really wanted to play.
Right.
That really loved the game of basketball. That would come in the gym in the summer. That will, don't matter what. They might go against each other, fight each other, and all that. They ain't gonna let nobody else do it.
That's right.
They ain't gonna let nobody else touch it. They ain't gonna let nobody else touch their teammates.
And that's exactly how siblings work, right? Like, me and you brothers, we may fight like cats and dogs. But that cat right there, he better keep his distance.
He better not come.
And here's what I wanted to ask you though. Did you have to take a different approach at all, whether it was a lot different or just a little different, in terms of managing the repeat team and keeping them focused and driven as opposed to the team that won it the first time? You know what I mean? Because you guys had a lot going. Not only were you trying to repeat, so I'm pretty sure y'all didn't play anybody on their bad night. They gave y'all their 100% effort every night. So you had that going, no nights off. And y'all were undefeated. So, and those kids are thinking about, hey, let's not lose. You know what I mean? And you know how dangerous it could be playing not to lose as opposed to playing loose and just trying to go win it. How you keeping all of these ducks in a row during that run?
Well, I'll be honest. I tell you something on that situation. Those kids love basketball. They love being competitive. Back in those days, see, we were going against every night. We was going against big top teams. We went to tournament champs.
Right.
We won that.
Yeah.
Played
almost lost to Bartlesville, but y'all got it done.
Yeah. You passed that about 30 times like they was before they shot it. You
you better not let them get off the board.
Hey. And they need all those kids that we played against. We played against OCU, Blake and his brother. Oh my God! I mean, we did something that nobody really even think. They don't even say our name, and it kind of upsets me because I'm like, my kids worked hard to do and accomplish what they have accomplished. And they'll say the Douglas, they'll say the Bishop McGinnis, and they'll say that, but they will never say Southeast. And Southeast played against the top dogs. I mean, all the top named people, every top named people from 2000 to, I say 2003 to 2005, or you played against C.J. Henry. You're playing against Obi. You're playing against the guys from Bartlesville, like you said. You're playing against the Griffin brothers. You're playing against Star Spencer. Star Spencer had everybody was in Northeast. At that time, the city teams was stacked.
Right.
Everybody was good. There was no hush puppies.
No nights off.
None. And so, but nobody talks about what Southeast accomplished during that time. And it kind of upsets me because those kids worked really hard to be successful.
Right.
And to make basketball and to make Southeast who they are. Everybody want to talk about the other traditions, but you need to come into this gym and remember what these kids really accomplished here. And so those kids, how I made them humble is because I just said to them, they said that was luck. Y'all first year was luck. You all wasn't supposed to win. They called us the comeback kids. We were down in the first year. I mean, the first time we won it, we were down to all three teams. We were down. We went in overtime. We went in overtime. I think with Chickasha, I believe. But we went in overtime with them. I think with TS. I think it was Tulsa McLean. Yeah, I think it was them. Then I think it was. I think it was.
Is this the repeat year you're talking about?
No, this is
the first.
The first one. And so this is
Ardmore was who y'all beat in the finals.
Then Ardmore we beat in the finals, and we were down 10 or 15 or something, and he went into a stall game.
A little bit too soon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No comments, because my thing is we play defense.
Right.
That's my pet peeve. We gonna play defense.
Right.
I don't care. You're not gonna quit, and you're gonna play defense. That's what they did. They played hard. Cello Bealey fouled out. Big top guy in the state. Yeah, he fouled out, and everybody said it's over. And I looked in the eyes and I said, no, it's not over. One person don't run the team. We all together, and like I say, like they made me, they made that team. The second year, I just told them. They said all that was luck. That was luck. That first goal ball was luck.
And it wasn't just a tactic. You doing that? You told me earlier. That was the narrative.
Yeah.
Wow.
They was bored. I'll be honest with you. That season during the regular season, they didn't play like they would play.
Right.
You know, I made one adjustment. Instead of having James Coates, I had Jamil Young.
You know, Jamel Young, my boy.
I had him as a point guard. You know, I had someone else doing preseason, but it just didn't click. You know, so I put someone else. I put Jamel in, and it started clicking because he was there for doing the dishing,
He knew his
running
role.
the team. Yeah, he wasn't there to try to score. He knew what he was supposed to do. So he was going to make sure that he wasn't going to drop the ball. And what I mean by that, he was making sure that, hey, James is not here, but I'm gonna keep this game going. I'm gonna keep this team playing just like James was doing.
That's right.
And he did. And he did. And he came and he played. Oh, he played his butt off. He did what he had to do. Like I told you, it's all about defense with me.
Yep.
He's a great defensive player. All that team was good on defense. You know, no one. That's what I'm saying. Nobody talk about that.
Right.
And those guys could play. Those guys, and I'm telling you, that chemistry with them. I mean, they wasn't big names. You know, you had a couple of them.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah, but the chemistry, being together, knowing what their coaches want, and going out there and doing what they have to do. And like I said, I had some good assistant coaches also that helped me. You know, because it wasn't just me, but you know, everybody. We all worked together. We all came as one. And I just told them, I said, hey guys, they just said to you guys, hey, y'all might not make it. Y'all might not make it to state.
They're looking at you funny.
Yeah, they looking at me like, what you talking about? We just won the last year. I just want to see how they was going to respond.
Yeah.
And they to me, they just waited until the playoffs started. When the playoffs started, oh my God. I mean, I didn't have to be honest with you, and I hate to say this.
Right.
I didn't have to coach.
Hey, I believe it.
I didn't have to. They was on a mission.
Right.
They was on a mission. I'm not gonna. I just said this. Hey, this guy, you gotta watch this guy. It was like, coach, we hear you, but that don't matter. We know what we gotta do. Yeah. So
man, a bona fide leader on any of those teams, like the guy that when it comes down to it, everybody is gonna. When this young man, whoever that young man is, speaks, everybody else is gonna listen.
Yeah.
You have one of those. How important is that to have, man?
It's very important. It's one of the most important things because a coach only can say so much. Mm-hmm. But when you have a leader, it's respected. You got to respect that leader. And the leader is the one that's very positive, very vocal, but he's one of those guys that not going to just, be down on you. Right. He's going to lift you up. He's going to make you feel important, even though you might have missed a free throw. You might miss a game winner, but but I want a leader that, like I said, James Coates was one, Patrick Coates was one. I have one, Kevin Russell. I had so many of them that were just leaders that knew how, that everybody else respected. Because when they say something, because they really don't say nothing, but when they say something, you at attention.
Right.
Because if you're not at attention, that locker room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
I heard the story. You got, and listen, a lot of people may frown upon that element, but listen, when we talking about fellas, first of all, we talk about testosterone, we talk about ego. And at some point, we're gonna run out of words. Yeah. And then we gotta handle this a different way.
Yeah. But it's more like you said, it's brothers.
Yes.
And it's brothers trying to understand. We're trying to be something. We're trying to be something. And if you're not on the same page, we got to get you on that page. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we got to get you on that page. And, and I had, like I said, like you said, those leaders, great leaders. I have some really good leaders. I mean, but they were silent. Sometimes they wouldn't even speak. They would just do it on their own.
Led by example.
Yeah, and people would follow. Or sometimes it was word of mouth. But they would get everybody into it. It wasn't none of this. Talk down to someone, because you're not gonna get anything with that.
No.
And they knew that I wasn't going to allow that anyway. Now, if they did, they'd probably do it without me around.
Right.
Because they'll know that if I heard them saying something negative or anything like that, and I'm coming up the stairs or something like that, coming getting ready for practice, and I hear that, hey, manager, put a minute on the clock.
Yeah, and they know what time it is.
Oh, they already know, and they mad. They mad. But see, but that's where the discipline comes in, because I want y'all all to love each other. You know, I don't care if you hate each other, because when I was growing up, it was some kids. I mean, it was some my teammates when I was in high school and junior high. I didn't like it, but when I was on the court,
we got a job.
We have a job. Now off the court, I don't have to say anything to you. You know, I don't have to hang out with you. But when I'm on that court, we all working for one goal, and that's to win. But see, as I say nowadays, back when I was growing up, it was about winning. To me, I don't think it's about winning no more. I think it's about being successful. Because if you lose, you're still successful.
Right.
Because the thing is, find out why you lost and make it better. Make it better. Don't think that a loss, I failed because I lost. Losing is not a failure. People think losing is a failure. People think winning is everything. Right. Winning is not everything. It's being successful. That's what's everything.
I think what was telling about that is coming up with your own definition of what success means and what it looks like.
Right.
And when you talked about winning and losing, you actually segued me into where I want to go next, because you talked about that team during that run didn't know how to lose.
Right.
But then you guys come back in the 05-06 season, you're trying to three-peat, right? And I looked at you guys' side of the bracket, and just, you know, for the viewers and listeners that may not know, you know, about our history, I played at Tulsa Central High School, right? And we're in the state tournament. And
yeah, they beat us.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom line. We ended up beating Coach Brewer and the Southeast Spartans, you know, as in overtime. They were going for the third straight title, you guys were. But I'll be honest, our side of the bracket, no disrespect to our opponents, but I don't think that we had as rough of a schedule as you guys did. We played Guthrie in the quarterfinals of the state tournament. We had to go to overtime to beat them. We were up by 15. They cranked it into high gear, tied it up. Next thing you know, it was the end of regulation. So we had to go beat them in overtime. And then we had to beat Durant the next night, and we had just beaten them the week before in the area. You know, that's a dangerous game.
Yeah, it is.
And so we get that done. Next thing I know, I look up, I'm like, y'all, snap. We're in the state finals. Yeah. But I look on the other side of the bracket, y'all beat McLean first round, who I think may have been the most talented group in 5A from a personnel standpoint. And then y'all turn around and you beat Capitol Hill, one of your city foes.
Just beat us.
They just beat y'all, and they were like, as far as what their team looked like, it looked just like y'all. And so I'm like, these cats battle test, and you know, add on the fact that y'all been there twice. And so here we go dancing with the champs, man. And you know, I know I went the long way. You guys end up losing that one. How do you go? What do you go in that dressing room and tell those guys? They've won 2, all right? They get back in hopes of winning the third one. I'm sure you felt the same way. You wanted that third one too. They don't get it done. What's the message to that group?
Well, it's hard to give a message that when they know that they let it slip away, you know, and I really truly believe that. And, you know, I don't think about it anymore. I think, you know, every once in a while, since, you know, when I met you at the cross country and you was telling me, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah, I do remember. And so, but the kids, when you go in that locker room, it's hard to say anything to them because they know they let that slip away, you know, and it was probably was my fault. I should have made an adjustment because you guys missed a layup or y'all missed a shot, y'all turned the ball over. We heard them get the ball. Instead of giving the ball to the point guard, we gave it to Ramon Hines.
He went up there and split from the line.
Yeah, and he went up there and he made the first one and missed the second one. And like I said, my mistake, I didn't want to call a timeout because he's shooting the second shot, but I didn't give a defense adjustment, you know, just in case he missed. I should have, you know, like I said, you think about this after it's over with, and you had the guy who can shoot. Okay.
Oh, the left-hander?
Yeah,
Jeremy Glazier.
He just got it and just shot it because time was running out. I mean, it was like, I think it was like 4 or 5 seconds. And he got the ball and he dribbled it or somebody
went to least to the court. Oh, that's my point guard, DJ Birmingham.
Yeah,
he got fouled.
Yeah, and he shot that thing. And I was like, wow. And it went in. It went in, and that's where we went in overtime. And that right there, instead of them saying, okay, they got us, we made a mistake, I think their heads went down. And
was that unfamiliar territory?
For them, because see, that was a team that we really, really didn't have a lot of superstars. I ain't gonna say superstar. I can call them superstars.
Yeah, I hate that term too.
I say we didn't have the players that we know that should have been, at the right time in the right position. Because I have a kid that I mess with him all the time. I'm not gonna say his name, but if he listening to this, he know what I'm talking about. But I get mad. I used to always get mad at him. I say this every time I see him. If he would have played for me, I know we would have won. And I tell him this every time I see him. Every time I see him, I say, you would have played that year, we would have won. And I say that to him all the time. And because he was a good player,
right.
But he just, for some reason, he just didn't want to play that year. And I try to keep him to playing because he rebounded, he was smart, he knew he had a basketball IQ, but he just didn't play. But that was a game that those kids that just didn't understand that we had a lot of stuff going on that year. I mean, we had some stuff going on that year that wasn't Coach Brewer type of team, Coach Walt Brewer type of team.
I got you.
So if they call me Brew Crew, they know that wasn't my type. They know that wasn't me. But I know that they can always be successful no matter what. But they should have been. I didn't want them to be like that, And plus, it was a few games I got upset, not at my players, but it's some things that didn't go the right way,
right.
For my team. And I always fight for my team, and Absolutely. So it didn't go right for my team, and they probably saw me getting upset, and they probably started getting upset. When they see a coach get upset, they start getting, your players, how the players do with the coach.
Yeah, they may not admit it, but they take on the coach's personality.
Yeah, and so it was my, and so sometimes I blame a little bit that on me because I think that I got frustrated on some things because people started hating on Southeast because of the success they've been having, and I didn't like it. I mean, I just didn't approve of it. I wasn't going to take a back seat to it.
No,
and
built this.
And officials and people with score tables,
fight with some people.
Yeah, saying this guy didn't foul out, and or you add another point on for somebody else and all that. So it was crazy.
You had to deal with some discrepancies.
Yeah, it was different. I put it with that year was different.
I got you.
Yeah, it was different.
But I got to give you some kudos then, because I'll be honest, comparatively speaking, that 05-06 team wasn't as talented, as loaded as those last two teams. So you almost done a hell of a job as a coaching staff getting them together and maximizing with what you had to get back to that dance. But what I didn't know until this evening, when I walked into this gym, you found your way back to the state finals 2 years after that in 08.
Yes.
4A at that point. Yes. Tell me about that team, because I didn't know anything about that one.
I'll be honest with you, that team right there was special. I had some good kids that really, really was. They listen. I mean, you know how you get kids that want to win,
right?
They just want to play, and I think they just love playing for me, and I think that's what they didn't want to disappoint me.
Right.
I think that was the whole key to that team. I think they didn't want to disappoint me. They knew I didn't go the year before. Something happened. I think we
06, 07.
Yeah, we missed a free throw or something happened.
Were y'all 4A in 06, 07?
I think so. I think we were
okay.
because I think we lost to Star Spencer, and I think one of my real good players, point guard, matter of fact, Jeremy
Lay?
Yeah,
he gave us so much work in the finals.
Yeah,
man.
he missed that. He missed some free throws, and he was really disappointed and upset, and I do understand that, but because he's a
dog, man.
Oh man, I mean he was really, really good on free throws and everything. His dad, that's what his dad would come after practice, and that's all he wanted to do was shoot free throws. That's what his dad do. He'd make him shoot free throws. So it was really, really good. And when I saw him miss it, and I saw the hurt in his eyes, and so I think those guys right there was said to, they just didn't want to disappoint me. And I told them, guys, that was a team that, and we played against Bishop McGinnis that year. And
finals?
Yeah, Ben
Wait.
Smith. Ben Smith. I have to say, Ben Smith was. I ain't gonna lie, he was a dog.
Yeah.
Ben. It was hard to stop Ben. And then you had Trey. And he could. Oh man, he was tall, and he could. Oh man, he can rebound. He was really good. Trey Jordan. Yeah, he can go. And then you had some guards that they just played their roles. You know, that's a team that I have to admit that did everything I asked of them. You know, they did everything. They did not, you know, it wasn't no selfishness. It was always doing what they supposed to do, and I'm very proud of them.
Those types of teams make you feel good.
Yeah,
man. It's like, all right, you know,
make you want to stay around.
Make you want to stay around. Yeah, which brings me to the next phase of this, Coach. You've been around. You've been through the lows, through the highs, and then I'm pretty sure you've experienced a little bit of both, a combination of both, coming out of that championship era. How much more you got left in the tank?
Well, you know, as long as God gives me life, and as long as He tell me to keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, making kids be successful, I'm here. I want them to be good citizens. You know, health is, you know, you never know. Like I tell you, you never know about sickness. You never know about certain things.
Yeah.
But I love working with kids. I do. And but I will say this. You know, I say this all the time. I make it as a joke, but I say this all the time. I don't know if my house get paid off. Hey, you never know.
Hey, you know what? Nobody can argue with that. Nobody can argue with that.
Once I get my house paid off, you never know. You know, but I always say that. But I love working with kids. You know, I want kids to come. If they come to Southeast, I want them to come because they know that I'm gonna teach them. I want to teach them. I do not want them to think that I can make them a superstar.
Right.
But I can make you a ball player.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can make you a ball player, but more than making you a ball player, I can make you a very smart student because you come to a school that's academic. I can make you being somebody successful, not just on the court, but off the court. Because life is about off the court. It's not about on the court. People always think that you can be more successful on the court. And I'm like, student athlete, think about it. If you really think about it, it goes a long way. But you got to really think about what you're saying. It's student first,
right?
Athlete second. Kids nowadays don't think of that. And I want them to understand that I'll give you the knowledge because everybody in my family, everyone in my family, from my brother, from my mother, my grandfather was the Negro manager for the Black League back in the day, way back in the day. So I'm really really baseball family, but we started doing basketball. So we all basketball now, but we love baseball.
For sure.
Yeah, and so if people would just come and understand the terminologies of what life is really about and what you really want. I want you to go, if you can get a chance, an opportunity to go to the NBA, please go.
Yeah.
I want you to do that.
Get that paper.
Yeah, but my thing is, hey, you need to take a chance at Southeast because we have a lot to offer. We have a lot to offer. We are A school. We're good. We up there. You know, we're not just, you know, yes, we're application school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're application school, but you know, the thing is, we just want you to have opportunity to come here. Come. I mean, you'll see. You know, we want that energy that these young kids have. We want it. We want it. We want you to bring it to us. So, but don't let other people keep you from coming here because they didn't get accepted. You know, come. You know, it might have been something different than that. And because it makes us, you know, because like I say, this year's going to be a challenge.
Right.
It'll be a challenge, but I love a challenge.
That's right. You're a fighter, man. I can tell that.
Yeah, I love a challenge. And
right.
I'm not going to back down. I mean, I don't care if you give me about 30 or 40. But, you know.
You're going to feel me, though.
Hey, as I have said, and Luther Piggy said this.
Hey, McLean legend.
McLean.
That's right.
He said this to me. He said this to me one time, and I was young. I'm like you said, I'm one of the wiser coach. But I was young. I think I just started, and he said to me, he said, Coach Brewer, let me tell you something. He said, it's not about how you start the season. It's about how you finish the season. Because he told me, he said, we were 3-20-something, and we went to state. And when he said that to me, I always kept that in my mind, no matter what. I always keep that in my mind, because he I mean, he used to. They told me he was from here also. He coached here somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I know he coached in McLean.
I didn't know about his stint over here. I got some homework to do then.
Yeah.
I
He
can
was.
figure that out.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, I think he was here somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not from Oklahoma, so I'm not too sure about this. But I know that he was here for a brief time. But when I saw him in Tulsa, I remember him telling me that, and that stick with me to this day.
Right.
You know, I don't care about. I mean, the season is you learning.
Right.
You trying to get your team going. You're trying to do this. But I think a lot of coaches now, you know,
they want their record to look nice.
Yeah, they want their record to look nice. They want to look good, but then that first round they done. You know, so it don't really mean anything. You know, so you want to play tough teams. You want to get around, play good teams. And you know, my season this year, it don't look like I'm playing a lot of good teams. But my team is not that good either this year. But you know, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah, but you never know what's going to happen. You know, and I love that. You know, I love that about kids. And if I can just get 5 kids or 6 kids, you know, to understand what I want and how I want it, I mean, anything can happen. And I love that.
I know you've been on. You've seen it happen all kind of ways.
Yes.
Coach, I got 2 more things I want to throw at you.
Okay.
The first thing is, have you, over the course of the years, have you found some new ways and some new, maybe not new, that's the wrong word, some more innovative ways that you implement your system and your things that your players have to go through in terms of preseason? What I mean is, I saw you at the cross country meet, right? So I know you coach cross country, and I would bet that a lot of your basketball boys are running cross country just like us over at Millwood.
Right.
Was that something that you just picked up and said, you know what, let me switch up the way we do this thing to make it interesting, or was it a stipend that they threw at you, said, Coach, why don't you go and put your boys in there? How does that go? Have you been doing the same things the same ways for years, or have you implemented some new ways?
Well, that's been ever since I've been here.
Really?
The kids is always have ran cross country. That's what they do. We get you in cross country. Matter of fact, the teams that has won, the teams that have gone to state, the teams that they always run cross country. You know, and because you can't do basketball, so let's run cross country. Let's get your legs in shape. So when October the 1st comes, it's team. It's about the team. You know, we ain't got team argument and stuff. It's not about getting you in shape no more, because you should be in shape. You know? But to answer that question out of that, kids nowadays, they don't like running.
No.
Kids nowadays don't do it. Like when I did see, like you said, you was in Millwood, and I saw your kids out there running, and I saw them, and I looked at them. I was very impressed, and the reason why I was impressed is because they was out there having fun. They knew they had to do that, but they seemed like they was out there because they know they have a goal to do. I could see it. See, you can see this in kids, and see, that's what I used to see in my kids. See, I used to see that in my kids when I used to make them run that.
Right.
I saw that because they knew that
they didn't want to do it.
Right.
You got to do it.
And it was a goal, and that goal made them be more humble when they got on the court and when they started playing. They was like, I'm not tired, Coach.
I've been through worse.
I can go. Yeah, I can go, Coach. You know that 5K we did? You know?
And that's what they are, every one of them.
Yeah. So they understand, and this I want to say is determination, it's desire, it's the fire that you know that you have in your heart, that you want to go and play a sport and you want to be successful in. And when you can do something outside of playing basketball and you're making yourself be more productive, like they're doing, that means a lot. And I praise Coach Jeffrey and yourself, because that means a lot. You know, because I do it. And I have kids, you know, I have my kids, they're like the kids who won state, the kids who've been in state, the kids who, they did this. Nowadays, kids, they don't like running. They don't like that hard work. So when I see other kids doing that, I feel appreciative of what other coaches are doing and putting into their kids, because that let me know the kid, you still have kids that want to work.
There you go. You hadn't gone anywhere.
Right, but you got some kids that don't see that, you know, and I take that, I really take that as compliment. So I give you and Coach Jeffrey, I give y'all a lot of credit for doing that. I really
appreciate that, Coach.
I really do
appreciate it.
Yeah,
And I only do Well, I wasn't running nothing. That was definitely Coach Jeffrey's call, and I'm like, I salute that because it made me tap back into my junior and senior year in high school, and we had to do it. Now, I won't sit there and act like we loved it, but once we figured out that there was no way around it, we figured out we got to go through it. And then, like, every now and again, you'll surprise yourself, because I got to the point where I would get strong enough to where I was never in the top, but I would medal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. So then that became the goal. Every meet, I'm trying to get a medal out of this thing. You know what I mean? Now, here's the last question I want to throw at you. And this one's going to be interesting because you got a lot of moments. This is my favorite segment of every podcast I do with coaches and athletes. I call it All Due Disrespect. And what I mean is we all got at least one of those games or one of those opponents where somebody got us that wasn't supposed to get us. And if we could go back and play it again, we would go right back to that one. And you mentioned a couple of different games where somebody beat you that you don't feel like they should have got you. So if you could narrow it down to one more than the others that you would love to go back to and replay that game and go get that W like you were supposed to, which one would it be?
David, that's hard. That's a good question, which that's when you brought it up. But
yeah, you know.
That's a good question. Oh man.
It don't have to be one. You know, you can tap a couple of them.
I'm gonna say two. I'm gonna give you two, but I say it real quick. One is Northeast.
Okay.
One is Northeast. One is Northeast when we played them at Oklahoma City University. I wish I could get that game back.
2000
I think that was 2003. No, 2000. Yeah, 2000. No, 2000.
Was the 3-4 season?
2004.
Okay, then.
Yeah, 2004. That's when they got us. And 2003, I would say John Marshall when they beat us in the semifinals in state. And I have to say, because you're sitting here,
All right, fair enough.
I have to say 2008. I have to say that should have been our game. Those games should have been. I mean, we just
2008 or 6? Because I was
six.
Okay,
2006.
Okay,
that picture over here, I'm gonna make y'all show that picture in a minute.
The runner-ups. Yeah, man. You know, I like to take all the credit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, those games were really good games, and like I said, I never fault my players. Anytime I lose games, I always fault myself. Something I probably didn't do or didn't time out, because I'm really bad about saving timeouts. Yeah. You know, but they do come in handy when I really need them.
I'm kind of that way too.
Yeah. So I blame myself on any losses that we have. I always blame myself because I always say that it's something that I did earlier. It's not nothing that was late. You know, it was something that I must have messed up in. You know, because I don't never think kids mess up, because you mess up in practice. You don't mess up in games. You know, practice is where you mess up and then I can correct it.
Right.
So you don't make that mistake in a game. So it was something in practice that they messed up and I didn't correct it. You know, and so
that's perspective, right?
Yeah. And so when it comes to the game, it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be. I don't care if the game is hard, tough, or whatever. If it's a turnover, if you go off your leg or you miss that free throw, that means that you missed that free throw in practice.
I didn't get you.
That means that you missed it and you missed that, and I wasn't paying attention, you know, and I didn't make you, because I think everything is done in practice in order for you to be successful in the game. You know, if you ain't success in the game, if you're not having a good practice, you're not doing what you do in practice and taking care of your business in practice, then that means the game you're already lost.
Before you even play.
But
that's how you know we're harder on ourselves than anybody else is, because you've had more bright moments than the dark ones, but your mind goes back to the dark ones first.
Yeah, I always go to the dark ones because kids don't understand. You know, they think in practice is, no, we just practice. I don't want to play hard. You know, because then when you go to the game and you play hard, you can't give it your all because you didn't give it your all in practice. Practice is where you're supposed to work hard at. Game, you're supposed to have fun. That's where you have fun and you joke and you know. Practice, you don't joke. You don't have fun. Play your butt off. You know, you let yourself know, hey, I'm not gonna make that mistake in a game. I'm not going to miss that free throw in a game. You know, but you got to do it in practice in order to do it in a game. You know, one thing I know about what I know of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they say this. Everybody say, why you you shoot the last shot? Why you know you're gonna make that shot? I've been making that shot all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why he's been making all that shot all his life, because he practiced it. And when you practice something in a real game, it's easy.
It's easy.
People don't realize that. See,
You've been in this position
yeah,
before.
Yeah, people thinking like, that's luck. It's not luck. He practiced that. You practice that. I say this all the time. I remember it's Ellen Park in my hometown, Fort Smith. My brother used to always go there and play at night, late at night. So I said to myself, well, sure, I'm gonna start doing that.
Right.
So when he started going to college, so I started going to the park real late at night, nothing out there. And so no lights, all it was, chain
nets.
Just hearing it.
That's
knowing it's
nostalgia
going
right
in,
there.
knowing it's going in, shooting it right, all that. So when the daylight came on, or when I went to the gym and I was playing,
With the lights?
yes, it was easy. It was automatic. And that's what I try to explain to kids. You got to work at something to be successful at it. You can't just think you're gonna wake. They didn't wake up to be Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant, or even the man that goes everywhere.
Don't say his name. We just let him do his thing.
Hey, ain't saying that. He might come and look for me. But
I
anyway,
got you. I think we know where you swinging.
But anyway, I mean, you gotta, they didn't just bring their names. They built their names up. They had they fought for something. They knew that there was something there. And God, I'll put it this way. God just, everybody always say that God is, why is God doing this, God doing that for this person, why this person getting this and this. No, God getting everybody an equal right, equal chance for everything.
Yeah.
It's what you put into it to make yourself successful.
That's a fact.
We
all got 24 hours a day.
That's it.
And 7 days a week.
That's it. Quit. If you're gonna be hungry, be hungry. Don't take that snack. Don't take that snack while you're getting ready to work, because you're not hungry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You wait till after, then you do what you got to do.
Celebrate when the job is done.
Hey, it's over.
I appreciate your time, Coach Brewer.
Always.
Enjoyed this, man.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, I appreciate
Man,
it.
you gave me a lot of game right there, Coach. I love it, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys.